What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we have some very unique Pokemon being used here in the Great League. It's not often that we see spice to this level, and it reminds me of the old days of Go Battle League when we were all trying to figure everything out, and Linoone is one of those Pokemon that just kind of came out of the woodwork. It has a good move set. It's not the best, but it's got Shadow Claw, Grass Knot, and Thunder. We also see a Dedenne here as well, which is spicy, and then you guys all know Gligar. So shout out to Daryl Garcia for sharing these battles with us. This team looks really interesting. We'll have to see how well it performs here in the Great League. Alright, getting into the first battle. This is going to be interesting. Linoone. Who would have thought? It's very weak to fighting, but it does have Shadow Claw, so let's see how this plays out. Linoone versus Shadow Alolan Sandslash. Well, that is a tough first Pokemon to be facing off against, considering the backline there of Dedenne and Gligar. This is going to be a rough first battle. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to overcome as they decide to no-shield the Drill Run right there. And this is Powder Snow Sandslash as well, which means that damage is really going to start ramping up against the Linoone. If it was Shadow Claw, they'd be able to resist. Thunder is going to be shielded as well. And this Shadow Alolan Sandslash is going to get a little bit out of control as Linoone is forced to shield the next charge move. It is going to be the Ice Punch. And now they got to get to that Thunder, hoping to KO the Shadow Alolan Sandslash. But if the opponent is reading this correctly, they might double shield, and they do. So here comes the Powder Snow Farm Down. And alright, maybe game one they get swept. I'm going to be honest. There's Drill Run for Dedenne, Ice Punch. And they're no shielding. This is so devastating right here. Drill Run is going to connect, not able to one-shot. Dedenne gets to the gist. That is huge. This little Dedenne is able to get to that discharge, taking out the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, and now it is up to Gligar. We have a Decidueye on the back line. Obviously, a very good matchup right here with the flying to grass typing, and the opponent is not swapping out, so maybe they are double weak to Gligar in the back, and that would make sense considering team building formations that are quite common. If Shadow Alolan Sandslash was the hardest counter to Gligar, then Gligar could sweep. Let's find out. It's going to be Toxapex. Okay, this is not the worst case scenario. Toxapex right here does have access to Brine, but it's also very weak to Dig. Super effective damage, and with the update to Dig, it does quite a bit, as you guys can see. In this Brine, though, we have to see how much damage it can do. Brine's not the best water charge move, and Gligar is able to hang on. Poison jabs are resisted, but they're adding up, and the Gligar throws with 1 HP remaining. But does it have enough health? Does it have enough energy to KO the Decidueye? One more fast move. No, it goes down. Dedenne. Oh, Dedenne survives with 1 HP in a dream in that game. I thought it was over with the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, but no. Buckle up, everyone. Daryl Garcia coming in hot in game one. All right, we're going to be moving into game two here. Let's see how this goes. We have Linoone on the lead versus Shadow Alolan Ninetales. So, same but different when it comes to the Alolan Ice Pokemon here. Both Shadow, and this is going to be Charm variant. So what we'll see most likely is a double Grass Knot here from Linoone, trying to get 2 shields from the Alolan Ninetales. Obviously going to be getting 1 there as they now have the Weather Ball. Linoone opting to go for shield number 1 as well, and then try to get to that next Grass Knot to get rid of the Alolan Ninetales, but they instead swap into Dedenne here, hoping to win the race to the discharge, and they get to it in time. That is huge, absolutely huge here, as Dedenne is putting pressure on shield number 2 for the Shadow Alolan Ninetales, and they let it go. Now we get to see a Lickitung come in. So Lickitung, obviously a very strong Pokemon. If you guys haven't built one yet, it is going to be worth it. I'm still working on mine. I got a little bit of extra candy that I need in order to get it up. But we will see the Play Rough now come through, and this is going to do a lot of neutral damage in this matchup as Dedenne has some good attack. So about 50% HP gone right there from an XL Lickitung, so not too bad. As Gligar now is going to be coming in. With Shadow Alolan Ninetales gone, like we saw in Game 1, it has the opportunity to potentially sweep if that was the hardest counter to a Gligar. So the Power Whip will connect, doesn't do that much damage because of the ground flying typing, so it only takes neutral as they go for a dig now to try to get rid of that Lickitung. It's not enough. They will be able to get the fast move down. Final Pokemon is going to be a Medicham, so this is huge. Gligar is obviously going to be able to take this one now, as they're well ahead on energy. Wing Attack is super effective, Aerial Ace is super effective, and the Linoone does have Grass Knot still available as the charge move. So okay, it's Power Up Punch. I thought for a second that that was the Ice Punch. I'm like, there's no way they just no-shielded that, because they need another shield here from the Medicham as they go for the Aerial Ace. They do get the final shield, and now they can go for Grass Knot with Linoone. The Wombo combo here, as Linoone is going to be taking out the Medicham. Boom, down it goes. Good game. Alright, this looks to be a straight set as well. Sometimes sometimes battle submissions are multiple battles from different sets, and sometimes they're just a straight set all the way through. So hopefully the queue times are pretty quick. Here we go. Moving into the next one. We have Linoone versus Gligar on the lead. Okay, Shadow Claw and Grass Knot is a good move combination to have in this matchup. But it's all going to come down to how much damage the Gligar is going to be putting out. We will see it's going to be the Aerial Ace here. Not too much right there. Okay, Linoone should be able to survive too, and that's really important if you're in this lead matchup. Being able to survive 2 charge moves while you can put more pressure down with Grass Knot is pretty huge, as the Gligar cannot survive 2 there. Linoone can easily let this go. Even if it is Dig, I think they survive. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and let it go. It is going to be the Aerial Ace, and now they get themselves that 2-to-1 shield advantage, which can be very advantageous for a Dedenne and a Gligar. So down it goes, actually. So soft winning lead. We do see Whiscash come in. This is probably worse than that Shadow Alolan Sandslash, because not only is this Whiscash healthy, but it has 2 shields, and it has Scald and Mud Bomb. This is a very bad matchup to be in. They let the Dig go through. Okay, Gligar has an opportunity here. It's going to be Wing Attack versus Mud Shot, and obviously with the resistances at play, Wing Attack is going to be outpacing in terms of damage done, right? So the Aerial Ace now coming through, going to be forcing the shield here from Whiscash, but it's extremely low, where we could see Linoone come in and Shadow Claw down. I think that might be a very big play. They decide to let it go. It was just Mud Bomb, so a slight misplay by the Whiscash as Gligar is able to hang on. The Aerial Ace now going to be able to connect, taking out Whiscash. What I thought was the worst matchup possible for this team turned out to be the saving grace, as Dedenne now is going to be facing off against Poliwrath, Spark, and Discharge versus Counter and Scald. Let's see who's going to be taking this one, as the first charge move from Poliwrath is going to be coming through. It is going to be Icy Wind, so lowering the attack there of Dedenne. But now Dedenne can go for the Play Rough, and this is the harder hitting move. This is the Fairy type, super effective. And here it comes. Will it one shot? Boom! Down goes the Poliwrath. This team overcoming Shadow Alolan Sandslash and Shadow Whiscash in situations where it looked just good game. Alright. Moving into the next battle. This is a good set of battles right here. This is fun to watch. Again, these are very spicy and unique Pokemon that can be utilized in the Great League. They're not necessarily top meta. Gligar is, at least for this season, as we have Linoone here versus Jumpluff. Jumpluff, a very unique Pokemon that got some spice back in the day. When it got access to acrobatics. If you guys know that charge move, this might be it right here. It's just going to be Energy Ball though, but we will see a swap out now into Dedenne to get ahead on energy, and Discharge thankfully is neutral in this matchup because of the grass flying typing, but they're going to go ahead and let it go through. It is going to be, they decided to go for Aerial Ace instead of Acrobatics. Acrobatics is honestly such a good charge move. I would opt for that just because of the raw damage that it can do, but I understand the shield baiting opportunity there with Aerial Ace as well, as they decide to shield the Play Rough. So Dedenne, kind of in a tough situation here, might need to shield the Energy Ball, but they're going to go ahead and let it go, able to hang on. And now let's see if they can get to that Play Rough in time, and they do. This is huge. This is going to be a lot of damage being able to put out onto the Jumpluff here. And what I think what we're seeing here is a hard read potentially from Daryl Garcia, is the read that they're weak to anti-fighters. And why do I say that? Because Dedenne was fairy, and they didn't swap out, which means Jumpluff was their best counter. So Gligar here might be able to put in a lot of work, especially since we're going to see a shield on the Aerial Ace. And no, it's going to be Skarmory in the back, so that is why they didn't swap in. They were extremely weak to the electric typing, but Linoone is going to bring the Thunder from down under right here, as is loaded on energy, shielded by the Skarmory, but now it's going to be a race in the next charge move. Linoone obviously going to be shielding here. The question is, they're going to risk how much health do you leave remaining on Linoone? Here we go. They're going for the Thunder right now. They had to throw it there, otherwise they would get taken out by the Steel Wing fast move. Thunder, boom, able to take out the Skarmory, and that is why it was Poliwrath in the back, but it's no shield matchup. Switch Clock is coming back up for the opponent, as they could easily catch an Aerial Ace on Jumpluff. This is going to come down to the wire because Poliwrath might not be able to survive, and they don't. Gligar here is able to get to the Aerial Ace, take it out, and that is going to be a good game. Jumpluff, unfortunately, is going to get fast moved down, and Gligar is going to do a beautiful sweep right there. So they were really weak to Dedenne, but they are weak to the electric typing, not the fairy typing. Good battle. All right. That's something I always like to emphasize in any time we see it happen. You always want to read what your opponent is doing and not doing in certain situations. That can give you a lot of crucial information for your battles. All right, here we go. Annihilate. Obviously a tough one, but this team is built for it. Gligar safe swap in. Going to get head on energy. They draw out an Azumarill as well. So Annihilate and Azumarill looking to be a strong meta team so far, and we'll have to see if Dedenne can really put in the work there. And Linoone as well with Shadow Claw cannot be slept on, as a dig is going to be landing and connecting here against the, I said it backwards, connecting and landing against the Azumarill. But Ice Beam going to make quick work of Gligar, as Linoone now looking to come in and try to load up on energy. I think what we're going to see here is a potential Dedenne sweep. I think that's what Daryl Garcia is trying to look for. They're trying to get themselves shield advantage in some way, going for the Grass Knot, but unfortunately, they weren't able to KO right there, which means they're just in a tough position where they could have gotten more energy from the Azumarill, as now they're going to save the charge move and swap into Dedenne here to catch it. Hopefully, they caught a Night Slash. No, it was an Ice Punch that is still going to do neutral damage. And in comes a Shadow Venusaur. I don't think we see a positive outcome in this game. Shadow Venusaur can put in a lot of work. It's going to be resisting both the electric and the fairy type charge moves. So I think this is going to be a good game. Playrough though, going to try to put in some work, but there's still a healthy Annihilate in the back. There are still 2 shields remaining. And yeah, Venusaur is going to take this one. We thought, you know, Shadow Alolan Ninetales, Shadow Alolan Sandslash, Shadow Whiscash was the true threat to this team, but ultimately, it's been Shadow Venusaur this whole time, as we will see the Play Rough not land. We do see a swap out, though, going for the Thunder, trying to make something happen. Actually, they go for Grass Knot, but they're trying to make a play here, but ultimately, we know it's all over. That Venusaur is just taking this game. They're going to do the fast move? Yeah, there we go. All right. You know, so you win some, you lose some. You try your best, and ultimately Shadow Venusaur with 2 shields is really tough for that team. But overall, really solid set right there with what I would say deem a very spicy team. Obviously, you got the addition of a... wow, these Phalanx are really just... he just had to pause the... he had to pause the recording there. These Phalanx are just like, nope. You got what, 6 of them in there, or is it 5? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it is 6. There's 6 Phalanx, and they're all just dodging it. But yeah, Gligar, obviously, a strong Pokemon in this meta to add to your roster, and then utilizing some unique picks that maybe you haven't tried before, like Dedenne and Linoone, and I think they did pretty well today, even in some tough situations, like we saw with the Shadow Alolan Sandslash there in Game 1, Shadow Alolan Ninetales in Game 2, the Shadow Whiscash in Game 3. Things looked tough, but they were able to overcome with good choices in decision-making and energy management. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.